Alright, y'all. This morning we are in the Pisgah National Forest. Yesterday it rained a lot and there really wasn't anything to film anyway. So this is actually the second day that I've been here. Just totally relocated, maybe about 5 miles to the north. Don't know if we're going to see anything today either, but I'm feeling pretty optimistic about it, so I'll let you know if I do. Alright, got our first little scat pile here. Looks like we're on the right track. Got our first little bed right here, and it is steep right here, but man, he's been leaving his mark everywhere, all over this log. There's probably 5, 6, 7, 8 piles of scat right here. He's really hanging out right here where all these dead spruce pines are. It's just open canopy and a lot of green stuff right here. I haven't seen a single white oak here. I don't think they even grow up this high. So what we have are these northern red oaks. As you can see, it seems to be their tree of choice. I'll tell you one thing about this place compared to Georgia. Georgia has a lot more details in the topography. You know, it's much more rounded off, and they have like little shelves and benches and just a lot more features. Where here in the Pisgah, you got valleys and you got ridges, and there ain't nothing in between. It's just straight, mountainside, and it could be anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 feet up. Man, I've just been hopping it up this ridge, and man, it's getting pretty rough, not gonna lie. But look up here, I'm in this little laurel thicket, and I got a wet cliff face right above me. I gotta figure out how to get around it, but these bear trails are just all in this steep side slope. Alright, I got another couple beds here. There's one. That one's got some age to it. This one right here is fairly fresh. And right here, these are the claw marks in the tree. Pretty typical bear behavior. Alright, made it to the top of the ridge. See behind me, that is a thick stand of mountain laurel. That's what I just came out of. And then right here, scratching post. Pretty typical on the top of the ridge. But right here is a stomp trail just coming right up the spine of it. Yeah, this is something I was looking for, just because there's open hardwoods behind me, and there's thicket on this side, right where the ridge comes to the peak. So there should be a pretty good trail going up and down this spine here. Thicket on one side and oaks on the other. We'll see how it works. All right, here's the trail. We're going to follow this for a little bit. Well, you can see they've been digging out these bear corn earlier in the spring. And I did a little more research here lately, and I figured out that these bear corn, they grow on the roots of red oaks. So that is why oftentimes you'll see spring signs scattered amongst the fall sign. Thought that was pretty cool. Alright, I just come out of there following the trail. But look at this. Just a spruce pine forest up here on the tops. Scratching post right there. Trail keeps going on this way. This is way different than I'm used to. I'm totally out of my element. We're gonna wing it. Digging around in the bear corn right here. Check this out. Pink lady slippers all in here. Right next to the American chestnut. Wow, that is a giant pile of scat. Oh, what's this full of? Grass and bear corn. My God, that's a big bear. Another little scat pile here. I've been following this little stomp trail here across this ridge top for about a mile, and this is pretty typical of, you know, whenever there's a more dominant bear around. It is no secret that he's here. Man, it's like every 100 yards one of these trees are just absolutely destroyed. I haven't been recording everything just because I don't have the battery to get every single detail out here. Alright, there's the last scratching post, and there's another one right here. It's just heavily marked out here. But the other thing, look at the size of these trees. That stump right there is at least 8 feet. Oh my God. That is a massive maple tree. Wow. Big timber out here. All right, so this oak definitely gets worked. They didn't climb it last year, but you can see there's a bunch of old limbs here. They may be 2-3 years old, but they did still feed here last year. They just didn't climb it. These red oaks, they fell they fell so early last year that nothing really had to climb to get the food. That's a hot tree. This one over here is too. There's just limbs scattered all over the ground right here. This guy right here means business. You can see he just snapped the whole top out of that little spruce. That's a pretty big boy right there. Alright, so I've pretty much seen everything I needed to see in the high country. I went up there to just look at the rut trails and see how heavily trafficked it is, because if there's not really a high density of bear in the area, they're not going to leave any sign behind. Like I said, the first day I was here, I didn't see anything at all. Like, there's definitely hot pockets around here and just really big dead zones. So anyway, I relocated again. I'm just above the river bottom. I'm going to start checking out these little lower finger ridges and make my way up to the only bench that I could see on a topo map. I have no idea what to expect when I get there, but I think it'd be worth checking out. I'll let you know when I get there. Just got up out of the river bottom. Super thick down there with rhododendron and some other kind of ground plant. I have no idea what it is, but miserable. But now I feel like I'm in a hayfield. Wide open and grassy bottoms. The habitat changes so much here. All right. made it up on the bench. You can see there's a trail going right here. So, pretty nice trail actually. Old ancient scratching post. Hadn't been scratched in a while. Little coyote dropping. Yeah, it just goes on with the, keeps following the rim of this bench. You go over about 30 yards and it just drops down again. We're gonna follow this. Trail comes on down through here. Still following the bench. Got a little spring head here. It's pretty questionable though. It's been really wet and rainy here lately. And it's, you know, it doesn't really have a big flow to it, and that's where it starts. And up above it, it looks more like a runoff or a little, you know, rainwater drainage. So I'm gonna mark this, but I'm gonna mark it as like a maybe, like a seasonal spring head. I don't think that's gonna hold water all the time. Man, this is absolutely beautiful in here. Big stand of red oaks. But we also got our cover here. Nice band of rhododendron. There's a creek down here in this ditch, so I can hear the water flowing. I haven't went and looked at it yet, but I'm fairly confident that's going to be holding water come October. And the last thing, feeding sign. Red oak branch, acorn caps on it. They're using it, so this is what it came for. I'm going to mark this on the map and move on to the next spot. Bear's digging for something. Here's his track. There's this about the size of my hand. Decent sized bear. Look at him flipping over all this rotten wood. I want y'all to look at this right here. Right there's where he's flipping over all them dead pieces of wood. And right here, big old red oak right there. Spring and fall sign in the same spot. All right, right here's where he bedded down. And he's just been digging in all these leaves right here. Not sure what for, but it's pretty obvious that he's been hanging out on this grassy hillside for quite some time now. I've been seeing like dead wood that he's been flipping over all the way down to the bench that I was just on. That bed's just right there. A lot of blackberries blooming right here. A whole bunch. This is a pretty open canopy right here. And it's just completely overgrown with briar thicket right here. I'll say these have got to be some of the prettiest woods I've ever seen. See, they've been stomping in these ferns and the grass and stuff. Good Lord. A lot of foot traffic through here. All right, there's a bear bed. I've been digging around in there looking for deer hair. There's no deer hair, but That's about 3 times the size of a deer bed anyway. Now most of the time they will lean up against a tree on kind of a downhill slope. Every now and then I'll find something where they just lay down on flat ground. I really like the fact that there's a lot of just tracks and feeding sign. You know, it's cool seeing all the rut sign, but all that's really telling you is like the density of the bears in the area. If you got a really hot and heavy rut trail, like obviously there's bears there, but you know, come time to hunt them in October, they're not really going to be using those. What I'm saying is there's a ton of feeding sign, and that's really what you want to look for as far as finding an actual place to hunt. Got a bed right here. There's a little hump right here, a little bowl. And he's just got trails all through this grass. I don't think this is like multiple bears. I think this is just a single bear that's just working every corner of this ridge. This tree right here is a wintered in. You can see his claw marks going up here. All the way up. So he goes up the back side of that tree and then hops down in there. It's hollow. This has been kind of a rough morning. The weatherman said it was going to be in the 40s, and it ended up in the 30s last night. Allergies are starting to act up too. But yeah, June 1st and in the 30s. That's pretty wild. Well, we've had some storms blow out a couple branch tips. I always like to pick these up and just check them out. This is a northern red. Water trail. And a fresh dugout log here. I'm thinking there's a spring head right down here. I'm gonna go check that out just to see if there's water on there, in there. There's one last ridge I want to cover. I'm probably just gonna circle back to the trail and start making my way out of here. I've pretty much got a good general idea of what's going on in this place. Alright, this is exactly what I hoped for. A little watering hole. And a trail going right up that way. Beautiful.